Everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to the very first part of this exciting CSS tutorial series. If you have ever looked at the website and thought, wow, this looks amazing, well, the chances are CSS was behind that magic. In this series, we were going to unlock the secret of CSS from the basics all the way to advanced styling techniques so that you can turn your plain HTML pages into a modern, responsive, and stunning websites. Whether you are a total beginner or just brushing up your skills, you are in the right place. So grab your keyboard and open up your code editor and let's bring your web pages to life one style at a time. So let's get started. Introduction to CSS. So what exactly is CSS? CSS stands for a Cascading Style Sheets, and it is a language that gives a style to your web pages, while the HTML creates the structure of web page like a heading, paragraph, buttons, and the links. CSS is what makes them look good. With CSS, you can control the layout, colors, fonts, spacing, animation, and even responsiveness for different devices. Without CSS, every website would look like a plain black and white text. In simple terms, CSS is the design layer of the web page. It's where the creativity meets the code. And in this series, we will explore how to use it to turn dull pages into a beautiful interactive web experiences. So, as I told, the CSS is a cascading style sheet and is used to style and give the layout to your web pages. There are three types of means files you can give the style to your HTML file, that inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. So first one is the inline CSS, means this is when you apply the CSS directly to an HTML element using the style attribute. It's quick but not ideal for the larger projects. So first we will see the example. Open any code editor. I have opened the VS Code, you can see, and this is the prompt you can see on the screen. Now we have to create a folder. I have already created a folder on my desktop. Here you can see the Codex Mitra, and I will select this folder in my VS Code. Here you can see the option open folder. Click on that. I am going to desktop and select my folder Codex Mitra. Okay, here you can see I have already some code in this. To create a new file, you have to click on this. Here you can see the new file option, new folder. Now click on the new file and give the file name as first.html or index.html. Here you can see. Now create the basic structure of HTML. Head, title, body tag. Okay, inside the body tag I will create the heading h1, and here I will give the message as welcome to your Codex Mitra. Now I am explaining the inline style. This is when you apply the styles directly to an HTML element using the style attribute. Here you can see after this h1 I am giving the attribute as a style is equals to, in double quote I am giving the properties to the h1 as a color property, and I will give the value for that is red. Now save this and go to the file location and double click on this. Here you can see welcome to your Codex Mitra. If I have not given that style, then you can see here this properties I have removed. Now I will give another property as a background color. Here you can see background color red. Now save this and refresh the browser. Here you can see now the background color is red. You can apply any property to the HTML element using the style attribute. Now next type of CSS is internal CSS. Internal CSS means you place your CSS rules inside a style tag in the head section of your HTML document. It's great for a single page styling. Now we will see the example on this. First I will remove this style attribute. Inside the head section we can apply the CSS to our HTML elements using the style tag. Here you can see starting and ending of our style tag. Inside this I will use the element selector, and here I will give the color is equals to blue. Now end with a semicolon. Save this and refresh the browser. Here you can see now the text is in blue color. Now I will give background color as well. Background color I have given as red. Now refresh it. Here you can see the text is in blue color and the background color is red. This is useful when you style the single page. Now the next type is external CSS. External CSS, this is the most powerful and commonly used method. You write all your CSS code in separate CSS file. You use the .css extension for that file and link it to your HTML using the link tag. It keeps your code organized and reusable across the multiple web pages. Now we will see the example and the syntax for the link tag. First I will remove this. First you have to create a CSS file. Let's name the file as style.css. Next, inside head section we have to give the link of that CSS link, and the link tag attribute is rel, means the relation is style sheet, and the next is href, means href. Inside this you have to give your file name. Here you can see the relation is equals to style sheet. This tells the browser this file contains styles, and href, here you can see the href is equals to style.css is the path to your CSS file. Once this is linked, any styles you write in style.css will automatically apply to your HTML element. It is simple, clean and super effective. Now you can see I am going to the style.css file, and inside this I am using the element selector, and here I am giving the properties for that h1. Color I will give as pink, and the background color as yellow. Now save this save your index.html file as well. Now go to the browser and refresh it. Here you can see the text is in pink color and background color is yellow. You can apply this CSS to multiple web pages. I'm saying this the element selector. I'm using the element selector and selecting the H1. Now let's see what is that. Next topic is CSS selectors. CSS selectors. Selectors are how we tell the CSS which HTML element to style. Think of them as the targeting system in CSS. You point to an element and then apply the styles to it. Let's look at the most common types. Here you can see the element selector, class selector, ID selector, grouping selector, or combinator selectors. Now let's see the example on this. First we talk about the element selector. Element selector targets all the HTML elements of a specific type. We can select the paragraph tag, h1 tag and multiple tag. Element selector, here you can see in HTML I have given the h1 heading and only the h1 element I am selecting to style. Here you can see only h1. Now I can style to the paragraph element, means the paragraph tag as well. Now I have given the paragraph as this is the first part of our CSS tutorial. Now here I will select the element using the element selector. I will select the paragraph tag and I will give the properties as color colon. I will give the color as blue violet and with the semicolon. Save both the files and refresh the browser. Here you can see h1 has already styled as previous one. Here you can see color is pink and background color is yellow. Now the paragraph has to be in blue violet color. Here you can see this is the first part of our CSS tutorials. Now our next type of CSS selector is a class selector. Targets the elements with a specific class name using a dot operator. Now let's see the example on this. In my HTML, here I am giving the div with the class name as name. Here you can see I have created one div and given the class name as name, or I will give the class name only, class underscore name. Inside this I will give the text as hello and break. Next I will create another div with the same name. Now save this. To style the class means to select the items using the class selector, we have to use the dot operator. So here we have to use the class name. I have given the class name as class underscore name, and inside this I will give the background color as black and the color is equals to aqua. Now save both the files. Here you can see the background color is black and the text color is aqua. This is how the class selector works, but we have to use the dot operator. Now the next type of selector is ID selector. Targets a single or a unique element with the specific ID. Here we have to use the hash symbol. Here you can see. Now let's give the style. Inside it, this HTML file, I will create a h1 and give the ID is equals to heading or headline. Now write some code here. Here I will give your, and here I will give the codex mitra. Now go to the style. To style the elements using the ID selector, we have to use the hash symbol and followed by the ID name. And the ID name here I have given as heading. So here we have to give the headline. Inside this I will give the properties as text align, center. Now save both the files and refresh the browser. Here you can see. Okay, here you can see our I have given the style as a text align center, and the text is aligned to our center on the screen. But here you can see the background color of our headings are in blue, because here you can see I have selected a h1 element and given the background color as yellow, and our heading ID is given to the h1. So it is selecting h1 from all the code. Here you can see this is selecting all 3 h1s in our code and giving the background color as yellow, and the color of the text is pink. Now next type of selector is grouping selector. Here you can see we have to use a comma to separate each element. Now here I will give here I will give the selector h1 comma h2 and comma paragraph, and here I will give the text align. And center. I will remove all this, and here I will give one h2 heading. Subscribe now. Next, save both the files and refresh the browser. Here you can see wherever our h1, h2, here you can see h2 and our paragraph tag is there, it is selecting all because we are using the grouping selector. It is selecting h1, h2 and paragraph and giving the style as defined here, text align center. Here you can see our output is. So that's all for the today's video on the introduction to a CSS type of a CSS and the CSS selectors. So now you have the clear idea about how the selector works and the type of CSS. If you found this video helpful, then please comment, share and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.